Welcome to RomWills Money Matters. Create a business to serve other businesses. Now, I talk a lot about customer service, which is important, very important in serving people. But sometimes you might not have that business where you're dealing directly with regular customers. You still have to have good customer service in what I'm going to talk about. And that's serving other businesses. For example, restaurants. You might just see the restaurant, and of course they have good servers, hopefully, and good food, hopefully, if they want to stay in business. But then think about the stuff they might have. Like lately, I've been getting I had to get some wings and fries, some buffalo wings and fries. You know, I love that with some mambo sauce. But one of the things they would serve it or give it to you in like some styrofoam containers. Now, the thing is, are they getting those styrofoam containers? Where are they getting that mambo sauce? Well, where are they getting any of the containers? Where are they getting the sodas to go in their soda machines? Where are they getting that? They have to get that from somebody. You have business to business sales. You have businesses, they just serve other businesses. Like using a restaurant example, you might have a business that's supplying them with napkins, with forks, with spoons, styrofoam containers, whatever. And they serving might be multiple businesses. One of the things is when you have that, you can actually do very well. You can actually do very, very well. You just have to serve them. You don't have to worry about a customer. The only customers you have to worry about are these people. Now, the only thing when you have those businesses, you can't be messing up. You got to deliver. You got to deliver. If, like, say, using a restaurant example, people have to deliver those styrofoam containers, those plastic spoons and forks. They have to deliver that soda. Whatever, they have to deliver for them. Some cases, they might have to deliver furniture, stuff like that. You have businesses. That restaurant has to get stuff from other people. You can be that other people. That's whatever. Or talking about, I had mentioned in my last video, talking about, clothing that people might design t-shirts or something like that for different subcultures. Maybe you could be the one who have those shirts. Now, I remember when I had a line of athletic wear back in the day, and I had a designer put something on the shirt for me. They had to get that shirt from someplace. And you do have that. Indeed, I remember I hadn't mentioned the buffalo wing guy in a long time. But I remember I was hanging out with him, and he went to this place. I don't know if it's in DC, but it was where all these vendors would get their stuff, at a wholesale price just to sell on the street. This where vendors were picking up their food. And anybody could have went there. I could have went there and just got stuff. They don't question whether you're a business or not. But I don't know what they're doing now, even if they still there. But they still serving other businesses. Because let me use those vendors, especially in places like DC, where they will have vendors on the street, or New York, where they have vendors on the street. They still got to get those products from somewhere. They got to get that food from somewhere. They have to get those cups. They have to get those condiments or something from somewhere. Someone like providing all of those things can really do well. They just need the business to do well. Now, if there's a situation where those businesses don't do well, then of course the one providing the business doesn't providing the materials, they don't do well. But depending on what it is, if you want to do business to business, you have to make sure that there are businesses who need your product. Like you can just advertise to them directly. Like bookstores, that's something. Let me use that for an example. Every bookstore, when I was dealing directly with bookstores, they They didn't make their own products. All they did was sell products. But that's who I was selling to a lot. A lot of my sales weren't directly to customers, unless I was vending. And the thing was, I still had to like hit these bookstores up. Now, you don't sell stuff to them for the same price as you would a customer. Of course, you're selling it to them for a discount, but without those bookstores don't do well. They needed people to write. Like if you're a writer or something, you have to deal with business. That's business to business sales. It'd be great if you could sell directly to customers, but most of your sales are going to go to the stores. Or even when I had my sportswear, I sold some directly to customers, but I sold quite a few to clothing stores, fashion stores. Young guys who had fashion stores, they said, "Yeah, we'll take some of your shirts." And that's something I'm thinking about getting back into. But that was business to business. Now, the only thing with business to business, it depends on how well they sell them. And it depends on what you're going to do. Because a lot of businesses, like if you're selling books or maybe shirts, they might do it on consignment, how much they sell. And then they might send it back to you. Like when I had a bunch of books that went to major bookstores. I ain't going to major bookstores. And whatever they didn't sell, they would just send back. And that's one of the things. But it was still business to business. If you look at any store, you can walk in any store, they getting whatever their products are from someplace else. Unless they making it themselves. Like you have a lot of department stores, they'll make their own products. They'll make their own products. Or even you have some businesses out here that will make perfumes for you and shampoos. And they call them private label companies. They'll make the product and you can just put your own label on it. They will make the product. That's business to business. They're not dealing with customers directly. They're like regular consumers directly. Their customers are other businesses. And I'm gonna tell you what, that can actually do well for you. That can actually do well for you, provided you have enough of those businesses and those businesses are doing well. Now, and then you have to, one of the things with it, and I have to really emphasize, I threw this out earlier, you have to do very well. You can't be playing around. You have to have their products on time so they can sell. Now, unfortunately, it depends on how well they sell and they stay in business for you to stay in business. But if you business to business, you can have a whole bunch of businesses. Let me use the bookstore example because I'm familiar with some book distributors. They were still doing, they had a ton of places that they would deal with. They would have a ton of places that they would sell their books. They wouldn't just sell it to one store. It may be 50, maybe 100 stores, depending. And when you get some of those major book distributors, they might have 1,000 stores, 1,000 places. Indeed, sometimes even some vendors will get stuff from them. So it's something to think about. There's something to think about, business to business sales, business to business. Like you might have some you ain't selling directly to customers, but you selling, regular consumers, I should use. Your customers are other businesses. You can actually do well with that. All right. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.